All right, boys. NFL is finally here. I'm filming this on Wednesday, but we got a nice game tomorrow. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens, and we're going to go over my favorite picks for that. I'll also go over some tennis picks that do play today, so you don't have to wait for tomorrow for all these picks. But I'm going to be doing a mix of 2 NFL picks with 2 tennis picks. But before we get into the picks, I do want to say I know I've been MIA on YouTube, but I'm still kicking it in the Discord, cashing everyone out, all my members in here. So I just want to recap some of the stuff that's been happening the past 2 weeks. Finally, CFB started, or football in general here, and we already cashed this 24x. This was on August 25th. The opening weekend of college football, mix of soccer, mix of tennis, and then we got a CFB stack here. Now, August 31st went absolutely crazy. We got this 10x here, mix of MLB, soccer, and tennis. So I mix up all the sports all the time. Then we got a nice CFB one. This was a nice double understack paying 8.5x. And then we got 2 more bangs here. This was another double understack. And this was for the tennis promo. If you guys probably seen it, you got a free $20 lineup. We turned this into a nice $60. Now, that's not even the craziest part, because as soon as September started, we cashed this 25x on day 1 of September. Once again, a mix of soccer, tennis, and MLB. These are basically my strongest sports, but honestly, with NFL starting, I think the cashes are going to be even better, because if you notice, on day 2 of September, we cashed another 25x. If you guys have seen my community post, you've probably already seen this. This was a stack in MLB with some tennis, and that was another beautiful 25x cash. So generational start to September, but unfortunately on September 3rd, we did not cash any 25x's. We actually didn't cash anything, which I will tell you, you're not going to cash every single day. I believe we were down -7 units. Not exactly sure. I'm going to have to go tally it. But since college football has started, you can see since August 24th, we are absolutely destroying Prizepicks, up 54.25 units, guys. On a $5 unit, that's over $250 of profit. And this doesn't include any promo slips that we hit, like that tennis one there. So there's just straight slips, no promos, no flex Fridays. That is at least $250 in profit, assuming you're only betting $5 per slip. And the worst part about it is on Underdog, we actually almost did a 3-peat for the 25x's, but I got 2 5 out of 6s here. You could see Skylar Diggins-Smith got that 18th point instead of the 14.5, and we got screwed there. Then another one here. This one is going to pay 26.25x, but unfortunately, we got the 5 out of 6s on both of those. So it's already a crazy start to September. Could have been even better, but we're happy with where we are now, and NFL still has not even started. So what I want to do for those of you who have never joined a Discord, but you see us cashing, you see that we had a profitable month every single month. This is for $5 unit bettors specifically. I've had some negative times if you're a bigger unit bettor at like $30, $40 units, because you can't take advantage of promos as much. But for those of you who are on those smaller bankrolls, it's basically guaranteed to make money over a given month. And you could see all the profits for $5 unit bettor. This does include promos. So August right here, this was a terrible month for me, and we still cashed over $168 in profit. The month before that, we cleared over 164 units, so $821 for those $5 bettors. And on average, over the 10 months I've been doing this, you should be averaging about $404 in profit, assuming you're just putting $5 per slip, which is very low risk and very high reward. So what I want to do for you guys is I am running promo codes. So I'm running 2 promo codes based on whatever you want to do. So for the week, I'm giving a 50% discount code, but this is only on your first week. So the code is going to be NFL, and you'll see it'll give you that 50% discount at checkout. It's only going to be for the first 30 people who want to sign up for the weekly package. Now, for those of you who want to lock in a longer term and already know you could trust the process, you're going to go to the monthly plan. You're already getting a discount compared to the week, but now you could add on an additional discount. It's going to be promo code Mahomes. It's going to give you 15% off your first month, and this works with any of the monthly packages. If you want the Prizepicks and Underdog one, you could get the discount there. Just use the same promo codes there. It's promo code NFL for the week or promo code Mahomes for the month. So that's all I have to say regarding that. September is going to be a crazy month. Let's get into the picks for today. I'm going to get the tennis ones out of the way because I know you guys are more here for the NFL. And the first pick I'm going with here is this women's double on the breakpoints one. Now, I don't know how many of you watching are actually into tennis or even know what a breakpoint is, but I'm going to try to explain this to you the best I can for those of you who have no idea how tennis works. So we're going with the over 3 breakpoints one on this duo here. It's a women's doubles match here, and essentially in tennis, when you're breaking a point, it basically means you are winning a game when the opponent is serving. So when you're serving in tennis, it's a massive advantage to whoever is serving. So if you happen to win a game when the other person is serving, that is considered a breakpoint one. Now, what's most important for this prop is the structure of tennis. So it's best of 3 in tennis, and you could see it goes up to 6 games won. So in this tournament so far, this duo has swept every single team they've played versus. You could see they won in 2 sets every single time. Now this time is going to be different. They're up against Chan and Veronica here, and you're probably going to have no idea who these people are, but all that really matters is how likely is this team going to take a set. And if you go and check this team's game logs, you're going to see they did take it to 3 sets versus this team here. Same thing with these 2 teams here. They had to take it to 3 sets. And what you'll notice about each of these 3 games is the breakpoints. So right here, you're going to see this team got 5 breakpoints and this team got 6 breakpoints. And you'll see the exact same thing in this game that also went to 3 sets. 6 breakpoints here and 5 breakpoints here, and same thing for this last one here. 6 breakpoints here, and 5 breakpoints here. Because when you're going up to 3 sets, you're going to see you're going to be playing more games. So this was a total of 29 games compared to a game which only goes up to 2 sets. Is only up to 20 games. So the more games there are, the more opportunity there is for breakpoints. And you'll notice that out of all the games I just showed you, this was the game with the least breakpoints, only 4 and 2 compared to all the other ones that were like 6 and 5, 6 and 5. So how does this actually tie in with the Ostapenko pick? Well, because I'm expecting this to be a tight game, or I should say the sports books are expecting this to be a tight game. If we go over to Pinnacle, you're going to see that this duo here is minus 153 favorite, plus 126 for the team they are playing versus, which means it's going to be a relatively tight game where we expect our duo to actually win the game. Since they're likely to win, it also means they're probably going to be the ones leading in the breakpoints, and I'll go show you on Bet365 what I'm looking at in terms of is this game actually going to go to a third set. So you notice right here, it's plus 175 for our duo to win 2-0 in sets, which means it's more likely that it's going to go up to 3 sets than not. And we could also see this on Stake, who actually has the spread here. So minus 1.5 spread towards Ostapenko is plus 150. Once again, for them to clear minus 1.5, they'd have to win 2-0, which is unlikely to happen, which means we're probably going to go up to 3 sets, which means there's going to be a lot of games and probably a lot of breaks between these two teams. And it just shows you what happens between these 3 examples when there's a lot of games and a lot of breaks. You're going to have 5-6, 5-6. So that is what I'm expecting today with this tight game with Chan versus Ostapenko. And the fact that this is set at 3 breakpoints won is way too low. I do think it should be at 3.5, and I would honestly take the over at 3.5, but at 3, it's an absolute no-brainer to take. I feel very, very confident that they get at least 3 breakpoints, so we get that push potential at the very least. But I could easily see them clearing 4, especially for the fact that they are the ones that are supposed to win this game. You have to be getting breakpoints to win a game of tennis. Now, the second player I'm going to go with is going to be a singles. It's going to be Rebecca Marino here on the under 5 breakpoints won. And I'm going to be going over some similar concept here. But the first thing I want to check is how likely she is to win this game. And you can see she's quite a heavy favorite here, minus 188. But is she going to win this in 2 sets or 3 sets? And once again, you see plus money on the minus 1.5, which basically means it's more likely that it's going to end up being a 2-1 game rather than a 2-0 game. If we go ahead and check some previous games and see how many breakpoints she won, given the game state, we're going to see this first game here. She got 4 breakpoints out of 5 versus Renata. And in this case, she was actually not even the favorite of this game, yet swept her opponent in 2 games and pretty much crushed her, right? 6-4 and 6-2 is a pretty big upset in a match where you're not even supposed to win. And in that case, she still only got 4 breakpoints. Now, if we check the US Open and another case where she did pretty good, an even bigger sweep than the previous one, once again, still only 4 breakpoints. But these are examples where Marino is only winning in 2 sets. Again, we expect it to win in 3 sets this time around. So let's go find some examples where that happened here. And we could go over to this tournament and check the games where she won in 3 sets. This one right here, she got 4 breakpoints out of 12. This one right here got 4 out of 15. And if we go over to this tournament, you're going to find some similar concepts. Only 3 breakpoints here, only 3 breakpoints over here. Same exact concept in this last one here, only 4 breakpoints. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that it's very hard to get 5 breakpoints. I could see her getting 4, but we have her at 5.0. If she gets 5, she's definitely not getting 6. Like, that is super, super unlikely to get 6. You could see just how hard it is to actually get 6 breakpoints, even in a game that's pretty tight and is going up to 3 sets. Because if you are losing a set, you're probably not getting breakpoints in that specific set because your opponent is going to be breaking your serve, meaning they're going to win that set. Now in the sets you're actually winning, that is where you're going to be getting the breakpoints. But realistically, all you need is 1 breakpoint to win a set as long as the other person did not also break. So in any game case, even if she does win in 2 sets, unless she's absolutely demolishing her opponent, she's not getting 5 breakpoints. And if it does go to 3 sets, which is actually worse for us because that gives more opportunities for breakpoints, I still don't see her hitting 5. And if she does hit 5, she's definitely not hitting 6. I think this is an absolute great prop, maybe even better than the first one I got here in the doubles. So I don't know if that made any sense to you guys, especially those of you who don't keep track of anything regarding tennis. But we could get into the NFL now, where a lot of people are going to understand what I'm talking about. And in the NFL, I like to make stacks. Doesn't matter the sport. I'm looking for players to stack up together and seeing which players have good synergies off of each other. Now, I think absolutely everyone does this in the NFL. It's pretty obvious that if you're taking Pat Mahomes on his overpassing yards, you should go over to receiving yards and take one of his main targets, being Kelsey. You could take Rice. You could take whoever you want, whoever you think is going to match up best with him. I'm here to tell you that the best player to match up with him is Travis Kelsey. Now, you could go and turn this right away into a nice 10x play right here with a nice correlation between Mahomes and Kelsey. But I like a better play than the passing yards and the receiving yards. That's actually going to be the pass attempts and the targets. Now here you don't even need to rely on Mahomes completing these passes or Kelsey catching those passes, because we're going to go ahead and correlate the pass attempts with the targets. Now Kelsey is set at 7.5 targets, and I think this is a great line for him, as I'll explain in a little bit. as you guys probably know, you're not going to find targets props on any other sports books. I'm pretty sure only Prizepicks and Underdog actually has targets props, and underdogs are not up at the moment. But 7.5 is a fair line. I'll explain that right after I go into this Mahomes pick. Now, what you notice about Mahomes is that if I show you the juice on him, you're not going to see juice towards the over or the under. -110 towards the over, -111 towards the under. Technically, he has a bit more juice towards the under, but at that point, it's negligible. What I'm really going for here is the correlation effect between Mahomes and Kelsey. I'm not really paying attention to the juice because of how much these guys are correlated, that if one is going over, it's very, 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 very likely that Kelsey is also going to be going over his targets. So in reality, the solo pick I'm liking is actually Kelsey on his over targets. And I said, since I'm taking Kelsey over targets, I might as well pair it up with Mahomes on his over attempts. In this case, he set at that 50-50 line. If he did have juice towards the under, I wouldn't have done it because I don't want to be conflicting juice like that. And of course, Travis Kelsey is that main target. You also got Rice set at 7.5. So the reason I like Kelsey over Rice is generally Kelsey is actually more correlated with Mahomes than Rice is. Kelsey's reception is set at 6 on Prizepicks because he has juice towards the over. If you check any sports book, you're going to notice 5.5 at -135, meaning he's more likely to get 6 receptions than he is to get 5 and under. And why is that good if he's getting 6 receptions? Because if he's getting 6 receptions, he's probably getting more targets. And if we go ahead and check Kelsey's catching percentage, it's 76.9% of his targets. So if he is getting 6 receptions, he's most likely getting 8 targets. And you can do that pretty simple math here, 0.769 times. And you see that he's expected to get 6.1 receptions or 6 receptions based on that 7.5 target mark. So basically what I'm trying to say is if his over 5.5 receptions is juice, technically his 7.5 receiving targets would also be juiced, because if he does get 8 targets, he's very likely to be getting 6 receptions based on his overall catching percentage from last season. Another thing to note is that these targets are going to be making up a big percentage of Mahomes' pass attempts. If Mahomes is getting 38 pass attempts, it's very likely that Kelsey is going to have maybe 8-9 targets. And if it does happen that Kelsey gets 8 targets and Mahomes gets 38 pass attempts, that's 21% of Mahomes' line filled up straight from Kelsey. And he also has some other main targets such as Rice and Worthy. So I think that's a pretty simple concept to understand. Sorry if I confuse you guys with the tennis props, but they are very good. I mean, you guys saw the cashes I showed in the beginning of the video. We had 3 tennis props in this one, and we also had 2 tennis props in these ones. Both breakpoints props, right? And you can see how no sweat these were. I mean, this was at 4 breakpoints. Even if they went over to 4, that would have just been a push. And this one cleared very nicely. So hopefully that happens again tonight with these tennis picks. And if these 2 tennis picks cash, then we're going to have to wait on Mahomes and Kelsey. So this is going to be the slip for tonight's video. And remember, guys, use code NFL or Mahomes for a discount on the Discord.